And now you can say,
one more time. So you think you can love me and leave me to die?
Rock music has given us legendary voices that have shaped generations. Join us as we unveil the greatest rock vocalists who turned music into magic and changed history forever. Rock music stands as a testament to human creativity and raw emotion, powered by vocalists who have transformed the genre into a global phenomenon. These extraordinary artists didn't just sing songs, they created anthems that became the soundtrack of countless lives. Their voices broke barriers, challenged conventions, and inspired generations of musicians to push the boundaries of what's possible. 10. The legacy of Chris Cornell. Among these titans stands Chris Cornell, whose 4-octave vocal range and emotional depth revolutionized the grunge movement. Born Christopher Boy in Seattle, 1964, Cornell's journey from a depression-afflicted youth to rock icon exemplifies the transformative power of music. His early piano training and self-taught guitar skills laid the foundation for an extraordinary career that would span decades. Cornell's breakthrough came with Soundgarden, pioneers of the grunge movement. Their 1988 debut, Ultra Mega OK, marked the beginning of a new era in rock music. The band's evolution from heavy metal roots to refined grunge reached its pinnacle with 1994's Super Unknown, a masterpiece that showcased Cornell's extraordinary vocal range and songwriting abilities. Beyond Soundgarden, Cornell's artistic journey included groundbreaking projects with Temple of the Dog, Audioslave, and a successful solo career. His tragic departure at 52 left an irreplaceable void in the music world, but his influence continues to resonate through the countless artists he inspired. Cornell's ability to channel personal struggles into powerful musical expressions created a legacy that transcends generations. As success grew, so did the internal struggles within Soundgarden. The pressures of fame, coupled with substance abuse issues, created fractures that would ultimately lead to the band's dissolution on April 9, 1997. Before this, Cornell had already begun exploring new musical territories, collaborating with Eddie Vedder in 1991 on the Temple of the Dog project, a testament to his versatility as an artist. Following Soundgarden's breakup, Cornell's artistic journey led him to Audioslave, where he recorded 3 critically acclaimed albums. The chemistry between band members was electric, producing numerous hits that showcased Cornell's evolving artistry. Though the band disbanded in 2007, they briefly reunited a decade later, using their platform to voice political concerns following Donald Trump's election. Cornell's solo career, while not matching the commercial heights of Soundgarden or Audioslave, demonstrated his unwavering commitment to musical exploration. Armed with just his guitar and that remarkable voice, he continued touring globally, touching souls worldwide. Tragically, on May 18, 2017, amid a Soundgarden reunion tour, Cornell's inner demons prevailed, and he took his own life in a hotel room, leaving behind a legacy of emotional depth and musical innovation. 9. Chester Bennington, a voice of a generation. Chester Bennington emerged as one of rock's most distinctive voices in the early 2000s. As Linkin Park's frontman, he helped create anthems like In the End and Numb that defined a generation. The band's phenomenal success, including 60 million album sales and 2 Grammy Awards, established Bennington as a vocal powerhouse whose versatility spanned alternative rock, grunge, and pop. Born March 20th, 1976, in Arizona, Bennington's journey was marked by profound personal struggles. Childhood trauma, including sexual abuse from ages 7 to 13 and his parents' divorce, led to battles with substance abuse and bullying. These experiences, while devastating, fueled the raw emotion in his music. His career began in 1993, inspired by bands like Depeche Mode and Stone Temple Pilots, though success eluded him until meeting Jeff Blue in 1999. After joining what would become Linkin Park, Bennington's career skyrocketed with the release of Hybrid Theory in 2000. The album's groundbreaking fusion of rap and rock, featuring Bennington's powerful vocals alongside Mike Shinoda's rap verses, created a revolutionary sound that resonated globally. Looking back, the album's intense lyrics offered glimpses into Bennington's internal struggles, making his artistry even more poignant in retrospect. Immersed in music since childhood, Linkin Park's meteoric rise produced 7 critically acclaimed studio albums that resonated with both critics and fans worldwide. However, beneath the surface of this success, Chester Bennington fought battles that would ultimately prove insurmountable. His childhood trauma, beginning at age 7 when he suffered sexual abuse at the hands of an older friend, cast a long shadow over his life. Unable to speak out due to fear and shame, this abuse continued until he was 13, profoundly impacting his mental health. Bennington channeled his pain into powerful lyrics, creating music that spoke to millions facing their own demons. His struggles with substance abuse and alcoholism became intertwined with his artistic expression, producing raw, emotional performances that defined Linkin Park's sound. Those who knew him saw beyond the troubled soul to recognize an extraordinary talent destined for stardom, though few understood the depth of his internal conflict. On July 20th, 2017, at his Palos Verdes home in California, Chester Bennington's battle reached its tragic conclusion. Following a family vacation in Arizona, he returned home alone, citing work commitments. The date held particular significance. It would have been his close friend Chris Cornell's 53rd birthday, whose recent suicide had deeply affected Bennington. His housekeeper discovered him that day, with authorities later confirming suicide by hanging. Though he left no formal note, his lyrics had long served as a window into his tormented soul. 8. The legacy of Bon Scott. Decades earlier, rock music faced another devastating loss. On a cold London morning in 1980, Bon Scott, AC/DC's charismatic frontman, was found lifeless in a Renault 5. His story began in Scotland before his family immigrated to Australia, where his rebellious spirit found its voice. Dropping out of school at 15, Scott navigated various jobs while nurturing his passion for music. His journey to AC/DC wasn't immediate. After being discharged from the Army, he crossed paths with the Young brothers Malcolm and Angus, first as their driver before becoming their vocalist. This partnership would transform AC/DC from a cover band into one of rock's most formidable forces, though Scott's battle with substance abuse would ultimately cut short his promising career. 1975 marked a pivotal moment for AC/DC with their Australian debut album High Voltage, setting the stage for an unprecedented ascent in rock history. However, this success came with a dark undertone as Bon Scott experienced his first heroin overdose. The following 4 years saw the band's trajectory soar, culminating in their breakthrough into North American charts with Highway to Hell, their 6th studio masterpiece. Bon Scott lived his life like the lyrics he sang, fast, intense, and without restraint. He often proclaimed he wouldn't see 40, a prophecy born from his legendary appetite for alcohol, dangerous flirtations with narcotics, and an insatiable hunger for the rock and roll lifestyle. As AC/DC's star rose, Scott's personal demons grew stronger, creating a volatile combination that would prove fatal. February 19, 1980, began as any other night at London's Music Machine in Camden. By 3 a.m., Scott left the venue with his friend Alastair Kinnear. During the car ride, Scott drifted into what seemed like a harmless alcohol-induced sleep. Unable to rouse him or move him from the vehicle, Kinnear made the fateful decision to leave Scott in the car overnight. 15 hours later, the discovery of an unresponsive Scott led to a desperate rush to the hospital, but it was too late. The official cause, alcohol poisoning and bronchial aspiration. Scott's final resting place in Fremantle Cemetery, Australia, has become a cultural landmark, drawing fans from across the globe. After much soul-searching, AC/DC chose to continue, recruiting Brian Johnson as their new vocalist. Their tribute album, Back in Black, featuring its iconic all-black cover symbolizing mourning, would go on to sell nearly 50 million copies, becoming the second best-selling album in music history. 7. Kurt Cobain, voice of Generation X. Kurt Cobain emerged as an unlikely spokesman for Generation X, though he openly rejected this mantle. His stance against sexism, racism, homophobia, and sexual aggression combined with his raw talent and tragic end, cemented his legendary status. Born February 20th, 1967 in Aberdeen, Washington, Cobain's early years were marked by creativity and joy, before family trauma and chronic health issues shaped his complex relationship with fame and success. Before his 8th birthday, Cobain's world shattered when his parents divorced, triggering a depression that would haunt him throughout his life. His artistic nature flourished despite, or perhaps because of, his struggles with chronic bronchitis, laryngitis, and persistent stomach pains. In Aberdeen's lumbertown environment, his sensitive, artistic temperament made him an outsider, fueling both his creativity and his isolation. The prescription of Ritalin for hyperactivity, coupled with his later diagnosis of mild scoliosis, added layers to his complex relationship with physical and emotional pain. Following his father's remarriage, teenage Cobain's life spiraled into chaos. Unable to cope with his new stepfamily, he abandoned his father's home, drifting aimlessly before seeking refuge with his mother. Yet there too, peace eluded him. His mother's struggle with alcoholism and her new relationship created an environment that pushed young Kurt further into isolation. His only solace came through a guitar, gifted by his uncle, though this period also marked his first dangerous encounters with substance abuse. The raw, angry energy of punk rock resonated deeply with Cobain's internal turmoil. After dropping out of high school and facing homelessness, at times sleeping under bridges, he found purpose in music. Connecting with Chris Novoselic, they laid the foundation for what would become Nirvana. By 1988, the band had carved their place in Seattle's underground scene, releasing their first single Love Buzz Big Cheese under Sub Pop Records, a label that would become synonymous with the Seattle sound. Their debut album Bleach, recorded for a mere $600, showcased something extraordinary. A frightening yet strangely inviting sound that would revolutionize rock music. After replacing drummer Chad Channing with Dave Grohl, the band created their masterpiece. Nevermind, released in September 1991, transcended all expectations, selling 50 million copies worldwide and generating $550 million in revenue. This astronomical success thrust Cobain, an introspective artist, into an uncomfortable spotlight. As Nirvana transformed 90s music, Cobain struggled with his role as a cultural icon. His relationship with Courtney Love generated endless controversy, particularly after her Vanity Fair interview revealing heroin use during pregnancy. The band's legendary MTV Unplugged performance in November 1993 showcased their artistic depth. But behind the scenes, Cobain's battles intensified. His March 1994 suicide attempt in Rome, officially labeled an accident, signaled the beginning of the end. Back in Seattle, paranoia led Cobain to purchase a shotgun for protection. On April 5, 1994, in his home's greenhouse, he penned his final words and ended his life. His body wasn't discovered until 3 days later by an electrician installing security systems. The news devastated millions of fans worldwide, marking the end of an era and solidifying Cobain's status as the voice of Generation X, a mantle he never wanted but forever changed music history. 6. Jim Morrison, the Lizard King's rise. The mystique of Jim Morrison transcends generations, his legacy burning bright even 50 years after his death. Rolling Stone magazine ranked him 47th among history's greatest singers, while classic rock placed him in their top 20. This poet-turned-rock star redefined what it meant to be a frontman, creating a template that countless artists would follow. Born James Douglas Morrison on December 8, 1943, in Melbourne, Florida, his nomadic childhood as a Navy admiral's son shaped his unconventional worldview. Constantly relocating between military bases, young Morrison developed a detachment from places and people that would later influence his artistic expression. His early passion for poetry, painting, and literature laid the foundation for his future as rock's most poetic voice. After studying film in Los Angeles, Morrison's life took a transformative turn when he met keyboardist Ray Manzarek. Living on Venice Beach, immersed in the emerging hippie culture and experimenting with psychedelics, Morrison's poetry caught Manzarek's attention. The musician was captivated by Morrison's natural ability to add melody to his verses, leading to the formation of The Doors with guitarist Robbie Krieger and drummer John Densmore. Despite battling severe stage fright, Morrison transformed himself from an insecure performer into one of rock's most magnetic personalities, drawing inspiration from Elvis Presley, whom he never met but deeply admired. Morrison developed his own unique stage presence. The Doors' self-titled debut album in 1967 shot to Billboard's top spot, establishing them as psychedelic rock pioneers. Morrison's relationship with fame was complex and often destructive. While maintaining a long-term relationship with Pamela Corson, whom he called his cosmic mate, his life became increasingly chaotic. Unlike his contemporaries who sought spiritual enlightenment through meditation and alternative lifestyles, Morrison pursued a darker path, delving into complex literary works and pushing the boundaries of artistic expression through his performances. The pressures of stardom and Morrison's excessive lifestyle began taking their toll. His performances became increasingly unpredictable, his behavior more erratic. The young man who had transformed American rock culture was slowly being consumed by the very fame he had created. His death in Paris on July 3, 1971, at age 27, sparked countless conspiracy theories and cemented his status as a cultural icon, proving that legends never truly die, they simply become part of our collective mythology. Morrison's battle with stage fright manifested in extreme ways, often performing with his back to the audience and relying on substances to cope. His experimentation with psychedelics led him down an unexpected path, developing a deep fascination with shamanism and particularly peyote. This spiritual exploration profoundly influenced his performance style, transforming him into a whirlwind of creative energy on stage. His performances became legendary for their unpredictability, with Morrison's provocative stage presence frequently crossing legal boundaries. His concerts were banned in multiple U.S. cities, culminating in a notorious incident where he was arrested mid-performance on charges ranging from indecent exposure to public drunkenness. This rebellious spirit, while cementing his iconic status, began taking its toll. In his final years, Morrison's artistic focus shifted dramatically. Disillusioned with the music industry, he abandoned psychedelics for alcohol and turned his attention to his true passion, literature. Seeking creative renewal, he relocated to Paris with his girlfriend Pamela Corson. The City of Light offered a fresh start, but Morrison's health was already severely compromised by years of excess. The circumstances surrounding Morrison's death remain shrouded in controversy. On July 3, 1971, Corson found him lifeless in their apartment's bathtub. While official reports cite a heart attack, many fans and biographers question this version, suggesting a possible overdose. The truth remains elusive as no autopsy was performed. His grave in Paris's Père Lachaise Cemetery has become a pilgrimage site, protected by barriers to manage the constant stream of devoted fans. 5. Axl Rose, the voice of a generation. The late 1980s witnessed the emergence of another extraordinary vocal talent, Axl Rose. His remarkable range and electrifying stage presence made him a dominant force in hard rock. With Guns N' Roses, he demonstrated versatility few could match, delivering both powerful high notes in aggressive anthems and emotional depth in unforgettable ballads. Born in Indiana, Rose's journey to rock stardom was marked by turbulence from the start. His early life experiences, particularly childhood trauma, revealed through regressive therapy, profoundly shaped his artistic persona. By 17, his vision was clear. He would become a rock star. Despite frequent run-ins with law enforcement and a reputation for volatile behavior, Rose's determination never wavered. His move to Los Angeles marked the beginning of a new chapter, where alongside his friend Izzy Stradlin, he would lay the foundation for one of rock's most iconic bands. After numerous musical ventures, including a stint with LA Guns, Axl Rose and his collaborators formed what would become Guns N' Roses. Following their signing with Geffen Records, The band's journey began with a 4-song EP, setting the stage for their groundbreaking debut. In 1987, they released Appetite for Destruction, though initial reception was lukewarm, with sales hovering around 200,000 copies, respectable for a new band, but far from legendary status. The band's breakthrough came through persistence and a stroke of luck. When radio stations and MTV initially ignored their music, a determined manager negotiated one final opportunity. The Welcome to the Jungle video aired for 3 consecutive nights on MTV, igniting a cultural phenomenon. Within a year, the album climbed to number 1, eventually becoming the best-selling debut album in US history, with over 30 million copies sold. Singles like Paradise City and Sweet Child of Mine became instant classics, defining an era of rock music. Guns N' Roses' provocative style and controversial lyrics, often criticized as misogynistic and racist, paradoxically fueled their popularity in the late 80s and early 90s. Rather than hindering their success, this rebellious image attracted millions of fans worldwide. Meanwhile, Axl Rose's personal life became tabloid fodder with his numerous legal troubles, including an arrest in St. Louis following concert-related violence, adding to the band's notorious reputation. Internal tensions reached a breaking point following the release of the ambitious Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 albums in 1991. Founding member Izzy Stradlin's departure marked the beginning of a mass exodus, with other members following suit over the next 2 years. The primary catalysts were Rose's increasingly erratic behavior, including chronic concert delays, substance abuse issues, and his unilateral decision-making regarding the band's direction. After unsuccessful attempts to rebuild the band with new members, Rose secured exclusive rights to the Guns N' Roses name and catalog. Today, he lives a relatively reclusive life in his Malibu mansion, occasionally emerging to share opinions on social media or plan potential comebacks. His legacy stands as a testament to rock's golden age, a reminder of an era when raw talent and unbridled passion could create music that would endure for generations. 4. Stevie Nicks, the White Witch of Rock. Standing as the sole female voice in our ranking, Stevie Nicks has bewitched audiences for 5 decades with her mystical presence and distinctive vocals. Her contributions to Fleetwood Mac transcended mere performance, creating cultural touchstones that defined the 1970s and 80s. With her flowing layers and gritty, emotive voice, Nicks possessed an uncanny ability to transform personal pain into universal anthems, helping drive Fleetwood Mac to phenomenal success, including 140 million records sold and 40 chart-topping singles. The story of Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac is one of destiny and transformation. When Mick Fleetwood discovered Lindsey Buckingham's guitar prowess, he gained not just one talented musician, but 2. Buckingham's condition for joining was simple yet profound. Stevie Nicks had to come too. This decision would revolutionize the band's sound and image forever. The addition of Stevie Nicks brought an unprecedented dynamic to Fleetwood Mac. Alongside Christine McVie, the band now featured 2 powerful female songwriters, a rarity in the male-dominated rock scene of the 1970s. Their creative synergy birthed a remarkable trilogy: the self-titled 1975 album, the legendary Rumors 1977, and the ambitious Tusk 1979. Each record showcased the unique songwriting talents of Nicks, McVie, and Buckingham, creating a sound that would define an era. The path to success demanded immense personal sacrifices. During the recording of Rumors, Nicks faced a heart-wrenching decision, choosing between motherhood and her musical career. Her choice to terminate a pregnancy was, in her words, crucial to Fleetwood Mac's continued existence. This period of personal turmoil coincided with the deterioration of her relationship with Buckingham, adding layers of emotional complexity to their music. As the 1980s approached, internal conflicts and substance abuse began to strain the band. The highly publicized breakup between Nicks and Buckingham created tensions that threatened to tear the group apart. Yet Nicks channeled this energy into her solo career, releasing Belladonna, a testament to her resilience and artistic independence. She successfully carved out her own niche in the music industry, bringing a feminine perspective to the traditionally masculine world of rock music. Stevie Nicks' impact on rock music transcends her vocal abilities. She became a pioneer for women in rock, earning the distinction of being the only female artist inducted twice into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, first with Fleetwood Mac in 1998, and again as a solo artist in 2019. Her mystical stage presence, poetic lyrics, and unwavering dedication to her craft created a template for generations of female artists to follow, proving that women could be both commercially successful and artistically authentic in the rock world. 3. Steve Perry, Journey's voice. The story of Steve Perry represents another fascinating chapter in rock history. Born in 1949 in Fresno, California, Perry's journey to stardom was anything but straightforward. After the tragic death of his bandmate in Alien Project, Perry retreated from music, finding solace in the unlikely setting of a turkey farm and his stepfather's construction business. However, destiny had other plans, as Journey's manager Walter Herbert recognized Perry's exceptional vocal talent and offered him a chance that would change rock history forever. Journey's trajectory changed dramatically with their 1981 album Escape, which catapulted them to international stardom. The record dominated the Billboard album charts, powered by the phenomenal success of singles like Open Arms and Don't Stop Believin', the latter becoming their signature hit and maintaining an impressive 6-week run at #2 on the Billboard Hot 100. Their follow-up album Frontiers in 1983 further cemented their status as rock royalty. Following Journey's promotional tour, Perry embarked on his first solo venture with Street Talk. The album exceeded all expectations, achieving double platinum status with over 2 million copies sold worldwide. By 1985, Perry's star had risen so high that he joined the legendary USA for Africa project, recording alongside music titans like Michael Jackson, Lionel Richie, Ray Charles, Bob Dylan, and Bruce Springsteen. This collaboration solidified his position as one of America's most celebrated voices. At the peak of his popularity, Perry made a decision that shocked his millions of fans worldwide. He stepped away from the spotlight. This self-imposed musical exile would last an astounding 24 years, leaving fans and critics alike wondering about the reasons behind his departure. The silence was finally broken in October 2018 with the release of Traces, his third solo album, marking a triumphant return that his devoted followers had awaited for nearly 2.5 decades. 2. Robert Plant, the voice of Led Zeppelin. Robert Plant's impact on rock music is immeasurable. As Led Zeppelin's frontman, he not only helped create some of rock's most iconic songs, including Stairway to Heaven, but also established a vocal style that would define the sound of hard rock and heavy metal for generations. His influence was formally recognized when Hit Parader magazine named him the greatest metal vocalist of all time in 2006, while Rolling Stone placed him at #15 on their list of history's greatest singers. Born on August 20th, 1948, in West Bromwich, England, Plant's path to rock immortality began at age 16 when he left home to pursue his musical dreams. While honing his craft in various blues bands, he supported himself through odd jobs, from laying asphalt to working at Woolworths. His fateful connection with drummer John Bonham in the band Band of Joy, where they experimented with blues and psychedelic fusion, would later prove instrumental in shaping Led Zeppelin's sound. The pivotal moment came in 1968 when Plant met guitarist Jimmy Page, fresh from his stint with the Yardbirds. During his audition, Plant's rendition of Jefferson Airplane's Somebody to Love impressed Page so much that he immediately offered him the vocalist position. The addition of John Paul Jones completed the lineup, and Led Zeppelin made their historic debut on January 12, 1969, with their self-titled album, a record that many consider the blueprint for heavy metal. The early days of Led Zeppelin were nothing short of extraordinary. Despite Plant's contributions not being credited on their debut album, his impact was undeniable. The band's second studio masterpiece, Led Zeppelin II, released in October 1969 under Atlantic Records, marked a turning point. The dynamic songwriting partnership between Plant and Page flourished, creating an album that would sell over 12 million copies and top both British and American charts, cementing its place among music's most influential records. Robert Plant brought an unprecedented mystical dimension to rock music through his lyrics. His fascination with mythology and literature, particularly Tolkien's works like The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, infused Led Zeppelin's songs with rich esoteric symbolism. His dedication to authenticity led him to explore Welsh mythology firsthand, traveling to Wales to immerse himself in its ancient traditions. This knowledge profoundly influenced the band's subsequent albums, adding layers of depth to their musical storytelling. 1975 marked a devastating turning point when Plant and his wife suffered a serious car accident on roads, Greece. The recovery period significantly delayed Led Zeppelin's seventh album and forced the cancellation of numerous performances. Tragedy struck again in 1977 when Plant's 5-year-old son, Karak, died while the band toured the United States. Overwhelmed by grief, Plant retreated to his Midlands home, questioning his future in music. However, this profound loss eventually inspired some of his most touching compositions, including All My Love, a heartfelt tribute featured on Led Zeppelin's final studio album in 1979. Led Zeppelin's journey came to an abrupt end in December 1980, following drummer John Bonham's tragic death after a night of heavy drinking at Jimmy Page's residence. The loss proved insurmountable for the remaining members, who chose to disband rather than continue without their beloved bandmate. In subsequent years, Plant embarked on a successful solo career, occasionally reuniting with Page and John Paul Jones for special performances. One memorable reunion occurred at Atlantic Records' 40th anniversary celebration in 1988, reminding fans of the magical chemistry that made Led Zeppelin legendary. Plant's legacy extends far beyond his years with Led Zeppelin. His distinctive vocal style, combining raw power with emotional depth, revolutionized rock music. Renowned for his impressive range and unique phrasing, he created a template that countless vocalists would attempt to emulate. His ability to weave mystical narratives with powerful vocal performances earned him recognition as one of rock's greatest singers, with many considering him the ultimate voice of the genre. Through his continued musical evolution and unwavering artistic integrity, Robert Plant remains a towering figure in rock history, his influence resonating through generations of musicians and fans alike. 1. Freddie Mercury, The Making of a Legend. Few artists have captured the world's imagination quite like Freddie Mercury. Born Farrokh Bulsara on September 5, 1946, in Zanzibar, his journey from an East African island to becoming one of rock's greatest icons is a testament to his extraordinary talent and determination. His Iranian heritage and Zoroastrian upbringing would later influence his artistic vision, creating a unique blend of cultural elements that set him apart in the Western music scene. At age 7, Mercury's life took a significant turn when his parents sent him to St. Peter's School, a British-style boarding school in Bombay, India. It was here that his musical genius first emerged, with teachers quickly recognizing his exceptional talent. Their recommendation for formal piano training laid the foundation for his future musical innovations. These formative years shaped not only his musical abilities, but also his multicultural perspective that would later influence Queen's eclectic sound. 1970 marked a pivotal moment when Mercury met Brian May and Roger Taylor. Despite joining their band Smile initially, his vision extended far beyond being just another member. His insistence on renaming the group Queen and his adoption of the stage name Freddie Mercury demonstrated his innate understanding of theatrical impact. The addition of John Deacon in 1971 completed the lineup, creating what would become one of rock's most innovative quartets. Mercury's background in graphic design proved invaluable as he created the band's iconic logo, showcasing his comprehensive approach to artistic expression. Queen's ascent to fame was meteoric following their self-titled debut in 1973. The band's innovative sound, driven by Mercury's extraordinary vocal range and theatrical performance style, revolutionized rock music. Their 1975 masterpiece, A Night at the Opera, featured the groundbreaking Bohemian Rhapsody, whose unprecedented 6-minute length and operatic complexity challenged contemporary music conventions. The album also included Love of My Life, a touching tribute to Mercury's closest companion, Mary Austin, demonstrating his ability to craft both epic rock anthems and intimate ballads. Despite his flamboyant stage persona, Mercury was known to be surprisingly reserved in private life. His relationship with Mary Austin remained one of his most significant personal connections, even after their romantic relationship ended due to his emerging sexual identity. The 1980s saw Mercury transform his image, adopting his signature mustache and shorter hair while beginning a relationship with hairdresser Jim Hutton. Throughout this period, he continued to push artistic boundaries, collaborating with opera singer Montserrat Caballé on Barcelona, 1988, and releasing his solo album Meister Bad Guy, 1985, showcasing his versatility as an artist. Mercury's impact on music transcended conventional boundaries. His ability to combine rock, opera, and theatrical elements created a unique legacy that continues to influence artists today. Even after his diagnosis with AIDS in 1986, he continued performing and recording with remarkable dedication. His battle with the disease was kept private until shortly before his death, reflecting his desire to be remembered for his art rather than his illness. Today, Mercury's status as one of the greatest vocalists in rock history remains unchallenged. His influence felt across multiple generations of musicians and fans worldwide. Despite his private battle with AIDS in his final years, Mercury continued performing with unwavering dedication. His deteriorating health eventually led to decreased public appearances and tour cancellations, raising concerns among fans worldwide. On November 24, 1991, Mercury finally shared his diagnosis with the world through a heartfelt press statement. Just one day later, the music world lost one of its brightest stars to AIDS-related pneumonia. During his final months, Mercury worked tirelessly in Mountain Studios, Switzerland, recording as much material as possible. This dedication resulted in Made in Heaven, Queen's final studio album featuring Mercury's vocals, released posthumously to critical acclaim. The album served as a powerful testament to his extraordinary talent and determination, even in the face of terminal illness. Mercury's legacy extends far beyond his music. His partner Jim Hutton stood by him until the end, while his closest friend Mary Austin inherited most of his fortune and the rights to his lyrics, a testament to their enduring bond. The Mercury Phoenix Trust, established in his memory, continues his fight against HIV/AIDS, supporting projects worldwide. His impact on music and popular culture remains profound, with a statue in Montreux, Switzerland, commemorating his time there, and Queen's staggering achievement of over 200 million album sales globally. From Chris Cornell to Freddie Mercury, these legendary voices didn't just create music, they shaped history, challenged conventions, and left legacies that continue to inspire generations. Their stories remind us that true artistry transcends time, living forever in the hearts of those they touched.